John Boone. First of all, good evening, candidates. My question is as follows. Are you in favor of any illegal aliens receiving government benefits such as non-emergency health care? Would you answer please with a yes or no, and why?
All right, we'll start with Vice Mayor Gray.
Clearly that's a really tough question, because we have a culture that is a caring culture and a culture that should be responsive. Now, I think your question was non-emergency. Is that right? Okay, I think that our focus should be on emergency conditions. And I think this is exactly what the Arizona legislation is going to help the federal government guide us with. Because, as I said earlier, justice sometimes is done with a clenched fist. And as we move, as our behaviors change, as our laws change, sometimes while we're in the middle of that change, it's tough for us. I've said earlier that in our company, which is the best indicator, I feel like, of best indicator of future performance is past performance. And zero tolerance is where we have gone in our company. And I think that translates into these issues as well.
Mayor Isaac.
I am not in favor of that. However, I think there are some federal laws that require it for some healthcare providers.
Mr. Horine.
I'm not in favor of it, except in the case of an emergency. I want to clarify my other answer too. I was saying that that was about business licenses, not about hiring. I do believe in hiring. We should check that.
I agree with everyone else.
Let me ask one follow-up on the immigration issue that I did not have time to get to in the last half hour, and that deals specifically with the Arizona law. And particularly you, Mayor Newberry, you said that you didn't think the Arizona law, or there was some question as to whether or not that passed constitutional muster. And I think the main constitutional question of the Arizona law is whether or not the state authorities in Arizona are going to be able to enforce the federal laws, or is that just the job of the federal government? But if, and there probably will be court cases and tests on this law, if it passes muster, if the Arizona law survives constitutionally, would that cause you or any of the other candidates to change your position if the Arizona law passes constitutional muster?
It would certainly cause me to reevaluate the whole situation, and obviously that was an action by a state government, not by a local government, but to the degree some court indicated that there was more that local government could do to help address the problem, and certainly be willing to take a look at it. That just hasn't been the decisions that hasn't been consistent with the decisions that have been reached so far.
Okay, Mr. Horine.
Well, here's my big problem with this. What if the sheriff's department or police department was to come in here right now and stand everyone up and put them in handcuffs and take them downtown and then sort out whether you are a citizen of the United States or not? Would anybody here agree with that? But they do this in that state, and they've done it they showed it on CNN at a car wash where they went in and just arrested everybody and then sorted it out later. And I am absolutely 100% against that type of thing.
Mayor Isaac.
I think to require people to be pulled over just because of their skin color is wrong. And I would tell our officers, if you arrest some person, you can check their papers, but you can't just go around and pull people over because of the color of their skin. Immigrants could come from Canada, from Ireland, from anywhere, and you can't assume that just because people have brown skin that they are not a citizen.
Vice Mayor Gray.
This is why these decisions are tough. I'm not a constitutional officer. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I'm a businessman, but what I know is that the struggle in businesses and the struggle for individuals and the struggles in neighborhoods and cities is a tough one. Balancing that against the rights of people, just as Skip said, just as Teresa said, just as the mayor said, is a challenge of government. And as we are navigating through this change, that's where leadership really counts. And that's where listening to these issues and knowing about these issues also really counts.
Let me ask another